Shalom, shalom. All right, let me get straight into this lesson. I'm gonna be dealing with this whole narrative of so-called black and white. All right, the spirit moved me to go back into this yet again. Right, this is not gonna be my last lesson dealing with this because our people, we have to be repetitive to shake them from under this witchcraft, this spell that they've been under their whole life. So I'm gonna deal with this whole white and black so-called narrative, right? This narrative that you've been force-fed your whole life. So I'm gonna play this video. And it's off this guy Roland Martin show, which he's a meathead demon, right? Poke chop pimp, you know what I'm saying? But he's pimping out our people with this whole black man and black woman narrative, right? And you got a lot of these jakes that's mainstream are hired by the so-called white man to push these different enchantments, to push this black narrative. They're not gonna never tell you who you really are. Your enemy not gonna never educate you and tell you the truth. That's not gonna happen. Right? So I'm gonna get into this video, and this so-called white woman, but she has the appearance of an Edomite, is gonna go. She actually did a lecture on this, but this heavy what she about to say in this about a minute or so, right? Then I'm gonna get into this lesson. 1 second. It's lock you.
She's an amazing educator. She speaks truth to power. She does not hold back. I think she's probably more unfiltered than I am. Jane, when you look at what Jane, I fundamentally believe what's driving all of this is white fear. Republicans are scared to death of black people. They're scared to death of Latinos. Hell, they scared of conscious white folks. And what they're trying to go ahead.
Wait a minute. You're using all the wrong terms in the first place.
See, I was waiting on you to go there. Go ahead.
Hold up. You see how stupid this ninja is, right? He think it's all a game, but okay. You know what I'm saying? You Jace can continue to play games, mislead our people, and send them down a path of destruction, but you're gonna have to pay for this, right? So check out what this so-called white woman is about to say. It's heavy.
Such thing as white people and black people. There are only people who you're using all the wrong terms in the first place.
See, I was waiting on you to go there. Go ahead.
There is no such thing as white people and black people. There are only people who are different shades of brown. But as long as you use...
Did you hear that? And she gonna say some more heavy stuff. All right, so you're not black. No matter how many times you've been told this, right? You're not black. You're not Hispanic. You're not Native American. These names have been indoctrinated and force-fed in your mind ever since you came out the womb, right?
The words white and black. White, the definition of white is pure and unvarnished. Black is the color of savagery and ignorance. Now, as long as you use those two terms, we're going to be at one another's throats. If you'd ever get around to the point that you could look at me and see that I'm not white, my shirt's white, my hair is white, my skin is not. And I can...
Did you hear what she said? And that's why you have to understand what words really mean, right? She hit it right on the money, right? So you so-called white people get to hide behind that so-called white narrative to push your so-called white supremacy, right? But for what those things really mean, white is associated with something positive, pious, holy, and black is associated with something negative, black magic, black cat, right? Black this, black that, black sheep of the family. You hear these terms, right?
Look at CJ there, and I can see that his hair is black and his skin is not. If we could get over the idea of several different races, maybe melanemic people, which is what we white folks ought to be called, could get used to realizing.
All right, so that's about it. I'm gonna get into this video, but I just want you to hear that. All right, so give me 1 second. All right, let me get into this real quick. It says, but then, give me 1 second. All right, let me get into this real quick. It says, but then in 1681, so in 1681, right, we see the first instance in history where the word white is used in the law controlling marriage. So that's the first time in law, right, that they use this word white to identify a race of people in the 1681. So prior to that, this was not a so-called race, right? 1 second. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna show you something real quick. We're gonna go back to some elementary understanding because there's new brothers and sisters waking up every day. I'm gonna go to this definition, black, so you can really get it. right? It's black, religious symbol of mourning, death, sin, sickness. You hear this? These words should trigger something in your mind. And evil, and evil. So when you call yourself black, you're casting a spell on yourself, whether you know it or you don't know it. And that's showing how ignorant you really are, right? Now, if you didn't know this your first time finding out about this information, you have to make a change. You have to break this enchantment, all right? Let's go to white, right? But you know, if you keep saying a lie so many times, it starts to become the truth. That's what the so-called white man has got you with his witchcraft. It says white. And that demon, Roland Martin, he's a straight demon, right? Because he's been set up to push that black thing. Black man, black woman, right? Where the skin is visibly brown. It says religious symbol of light, joy, purity, innocence, and holiness. Now you see why they did this, right? That's why you have to understand what words properly mean, right? And this is ABC stuff. So I'm going to go to this definition. Matter of fact, let me hit this real quick. All right, Hosea 4:6, a classic scripture, but it's so, we can bring this out every lesson. Right, it says, my people destroyed for lack of knowledge. Right, so they're literally destroyed mentally, physically, and emotionally because they don't know what's going on. They don't know all these different things has been done to them. It says, because thou hast rejected knowledge. So when we do present our people with the truth, they reject it. They, in their mind, they're like, if it's not coming from a so-called white person, it's not valid. But this actually came from a so-called white person. All right. So our people still, they without excuse at this point. Right. So your slave master told you what it is and you still don't get it. Right. And I'm being a little funny, but you get what I'm saying. This for the brothers and the sisters. All right. Outside of this congregation. Right. We got to say things to shake them up sometimes. Right. It says, because thou hast rejected knowledge, I would also reject thee, that thou should be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgot the law of thy Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, your power. I would also forget thy children. That's, I can go down a grocery list with this madness. So this is Wikipedia, right? So I looked up so-called black people. Check this out. It's interesting. It's gonna get pretty good. It says black is racialized classification of people, usually a political and skin color based category for specific populations with a mid to dark brown complexion. Mid to dark brown complexion. Overall, you Jakes are brown skinned, but you got Jakes that come in all different shades. My blood brother is very light skinned. All right, he can pass for Issachar, but you know what I'm saying? He can, what I'm trying to say is like, you got Jakes that come in all skin tones. You even gonna have Jakes among the so-called white man. They're gonna look like Edomites, but they really are Jakes, right? Now that's not common, but it is. You have some Israelites mixed among the so-called white man, the Edomites. They're just factual. So you're gonna have Jakes that are like all nationalities from all the mingling with the women. Just common sense when you think about it, right? So that's a cut to that black only, these black only Israelites. You out of your mind, all right? So you got to have a certain skin. It's madness. It says, not all people considered black have dark skin. Exactly, because you got millions of Jakes. Like just go down to Louisiana, millions of Jakes is so-called red bones, high yellow, like they have the complexion of Chris Brown, right? Them Jakes too. So it's not this black narrative. It's based on your lineage, which goes back, if you descend from a so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American that's known today, that go back to the lineage of Israel, you're Israelite, right? And I can't make it no simpler than that. That's as simple as I can make it. It says, I want to jump down to this part right here at the bottom. It says, indigenous African societies do not use the term black as a racial identity outside of the influences brought by the Western cultures, the so-called white man, the devil, the deceiver, right? So this is not so, right, in other places, right? But they have, when you go to some, most of these so-called white nations, right, Edomites, they label you as black. But when you go to so-called Africa, it's not that same concept, if that makes sense. Let's go to this so-called white people, right? So this is all witchcraft. It says white, often still referred to as Caucasian, is a racialized classification of people generally used for those of mostly European ancestry. So there's no such thing as European people. That's another false narrative, right? You got, they call Edomites. That's their true biblical nationality that they're running from. It says it is also a skin color specifier, although the definition can vary on context, nationality, ethnicity, point of view, appearance, etc. All right, check this out. It's heavy. It's a description of populations as white is reference to their skin color is occasionally found in Greco-Roman and other ancient or medieval sources. It says, but these societies did not have a notion of a white race. You hear this? At the top, the term white race or white people defined by their light skin among other physical characteristics. Again, there's no such thing as white people. Their skin is not the color white, they're red. Their blood shows forth through their skin, right? Check this out, right here. It says, prior to the modern era, no European peoples regarded themselves as white. You hear this? But rather defined their race in terms of ancestry, ethnicity, and nationality. Well, there you go. These devils actually told some truth, right? So there's no such thing as white and black people. That's why you have to, let's go to this social construct. This is a social construct that everybody agree on because of their ignorance. That's why you have to come out of this mentality. You have to be reborn. Your mind literally has to be reborn. All right. Give me 1 second. Right here. It says social construct. All right. It says at the very top, it says that's why we say race is a social construct. It's a human invented classification system. Wow. That's heavy. It says it was invented as a way to define physical. So yeah, that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Israel coming all different shapes, sizes, and colors. It's based on what your father is, your lineage, not your mother, your father. You are what your father is. So you're gonna have Jakes that's gonna look like Chris Brown color all the way down to Seal, the singer Seal, even darker than that. All different shades. You're gonna have some Israelites that look like so-called white people. They're just the truth, right? Let's go here. But the influence, let me go here. It says under a spell. So that black and white narrative have dominated your mind. So that's all our people rationalize with this black and white thing, right? It says, check this out. I was looking for something very specific that I had. It says under a spell. Let me find the part that I was looking for. Right here. It says to put a spell on someone means that you are enchanting them by deeply influencing them, right? So this place Babylon has deeply influenced and molded our people's mind and groomed them up, right, to have this mentality, right? Go to this word influence. It says the capacity to have an effect on the character development or behavior of someone or something. There you go, right? So our people being raised up in this society, this Babylonian, Roman, Greco-Roman culture has completely turned them out. They don't know right from wrong and up from down. They completely lost, right? And the knowledge that they do have has been lied to them, right? But hopefully this lesson was edifying. Called Allah Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachak Kodash. Shalom.